before this camp, I met a challenge. I volunteered in the Tzu Forum to do oral interpretation. And however, the lecture I had was very challenging. It's about tax. This is what I had at the PPT. The topic is about the gap between rich and poor. But then the professor chose to talk about how the tax system has created a gap between rich and poor. And he's very into his study. So what he said is very technical. And can you imagine, this was my nightmare. And this is what he talked about. He talked like this for 10 minutes. So I didn't know what to do. So what I had to do is to translate more verbally about how the tax system has created a gap between rich and poor. Even though what he talked about is very difficult to understand, even for the Chinese audience. It was very challenging. So this was my wake-up call before the December camp. I realized it's very important to be prepared. So this is Patrick doing the interpretation. And then Patrick and I had to translate a speech by Wang Benrong, our education mission CEO. And he talked about the selflessness of Tzu Chi volunteers. But then he used poems and many very abstract ideas. This is what he said. This is his poem about Xu Zhimou's poem, 我是天空的一片云. So I realized when I received his PPT, I realized it's very important. I must prepare in advance. So I Googled and translated this poem in advance. So let's read this poem together. I'm a cloud in the sky, occasionally casting a shadow on your wave's heart, and in a distance my trace disappears. It's fine if you remember, but it's best if you forget. The brilliance exchange at that moment of intersection. So as you can tell, sometimes the lectures can give you very abstract, very 很梦幻的一些语言, and you have to overcome the challenge and translate that. So it's very important to be prepared.